Hi everyone, FIFA Career Gems here. Thanks for tuning into my channel today. And if you like to keep up to date with the latest FIFA Career Mode news, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Now, today's video, I'll be sharing with you my top youth academy tips on how to get the best players and save yourself an absolute fortune. Now, the first one might seem a little bit obvious, is get the best scouts you can afford with your budget. So if you're using a team with a decent budget, I do strongly recommend, where possible, that you get 5-star experience and 5-star judgment scouts. Now, experience means a scout will return a larger number of players, and judgment is pretty much what it says on the tin, that will return a better quality of players. And there you can see the difference in price between a 4-star scout at 1.8 million and a 5-star scout is nearly double that at 3.5 million. In this career mode, we've got the luxury of using Everton, so we can afford to sign 5-star scouts. So there you can see now I've got 3 5-star scouts. So now we move on to the best countries to send your scout to. Now, these countries are the best ones where I've had the most success when using my youth academy, and they are Canada, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, Paraguay and Uruguay. And in Africa, we've got Morocco, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, Egypt and Cameroon. Into Europe, we've got Sweden, Norway, Austria, Poland, Serbia, Croatia, the Czech Republic, France, Germany, Belgium and Portugal. But if you want to keep your career mode realistic, I always recommend you use the country that you're managing. So if you're using the Premier League team, send your scouts out to realistic countries to scout, such as England, Scotland and Northern Ireland. So this first scout I'm going to send out to Sweden for 6 months. I'm going to leave the player type as any for the time being. We will move on to the difference in player types later on in the video. So my first scout has been sent out to Sweden for 6 months. So tip number 3 is a very important one, and it's don't have all 3 of your scout reports returning on the same day. And again, this will become very obvious as we move through the video as to the reason why. So the first scout report is being returned on the 1st of every month. We've simmed forward in the calendar 2 days to the 3rd, and now it's time to send our second scout out on his scouting assignment. So the second scout I'm going to be sending it to a country where I always get some very good results returned, and that is Mexico. We're going to keep the duration as 6 months, just like the first scout, and also like the first scout, we'll be leaving the player type as any. Like I previously said, we'll be discussing player types later on in the video. So that is the second scout deployed in Mexico for 6 months. And remembering that we don't want our scout reports returning on the same day, we're going to use the calendar again to sim forward a couple of days to the 5th. And now it's time to send our third and final scout out on his assignment. And there you can see that our third and final scout is called Dario Vuksic from Croatia. And we're going to be sending him out to his homeland to find the next Croatian gem. We'll be changing the duration, like the other 2 scouts, to 6 months. The player type for the time being will remain as any. So that now is all 3 5-star experience, 5-star judgment scouts sent out on their assignments to find some youth academy gems. And there you can see all 3 scout reports will be returning on different days of the month. So now we move on to tip number 4, and it's use the player type search function to find specific player positions. So we've just dropped back onto the third and final scout instruction. Dario Vuksic from Croatia. We'll leave the nation as Croatia to scouting. The duration we will change to 6 months as per the other scouts. And we're now going to go through the most common positions for each player type. So technically gifted, you're going to find in there central midfielders, central attacking midfielders, central defensive midfielders, right midfielders and left midfielders. Wingers, surprisingly, you're going to be finding both left wingers and right wingers, as well as left midfielders, right midfielders and pacey type number 10 strikers. Physically strong, you're going to be getting in there centre back, right back, left back and number 9 strong, physically imposing strikers. A playmaker, you're going to be finding central midfielders, central attacking midfielders, central defensive midfielders and number 10 type centre forwards. Goalkeeper is pretty self-explanatory. Attackers in there, you're going to be finding central attacking midfielder, right wing and left wing. Surprisingly, you don't get many strikers in that section at all. And finally, defensive minded, you're going to be getting in there central defensive midfielders, central midfielders, right back and left back. But in this video, we're not searching for any particular player type, so we're going to leave that as any. So that is now all 3 of my scouts sent out on their missions. Now, tip number 5 is a very important one, and it's to save your game the day before your first scout report returns. So my first scout report is returning on the 1st of every month for the next 6 months. So what you do at this point is you play your career as you would normally, making signings, whatever, doing your player training. But for the illustration purposes of this video, I'm going to use the calendar to sim forward to the 31st of this month, the day before my first scout report is due to be returned. So here we are now approaching the 31st. I'm going to back out of the calendar. I'm going to save my game just before that first scout report is due to be returned. So there you can see, game saved. And now it's time to just advance one day to the first scout report being returned. And there you can see the email has arrived. Monthly scouting update is available. So now it's time to look to see if any decent players have been returned in that first scout report. In an ideal world, what you are looking for is players who are over the age of 16 so they can then be promoted to the senior team to see their potential status. An overall rating of at least 55, that way can they be easily trained up to that 60 mark, and a potential range as high as possible. And at first glance, looking at some of the overall ranges, this scout report is pretty poor. And this is why it's so important to get your scout reports staggered on the days they return. You could get some decent players in your first scout reports. The following two scout reports could be absolutely rubbish. You've had them all returned on the same day, and then you want to reload the save from your save game just before the first scout report has been returned, and you've got to disregard all them players. This way you've just got to disregard your first scout report. So because that first scout report was pretty poor, I'm just going to back out of the game and load the career up again from the day before the first scout report was returned. Some people call this a bit of a cheat. I prefer to think of it as bending the rules in our favour. And basically I just repeat this process until I'm happy with at least one player in my first scout report. So we've loaded the save back up, we've advanced one day, the email will come in saying the first scout report is available, so let's hope for better luck at the second time of asking. Now tip number 6 is something we've already touched on earlier in the video, and it's age, overall and potential. And we need to remember that you cannot see your player's potential status until they have reached at least 60 overall. So what you're looking for in your player's age is you want them to be at least 16 years of age. That way you can promote them straight away to your senior team to have a look at their potential status. However, I do consider some 15-year-olds should their potential range be insanely high. The first player that I'm taking notice of in this scout report is Nicholas Bergstrom. He's 17 years of age with an overall range of 55 to 75 and a potential range of 76 to 94. So we'll definitely add him to the youth academy. Likewise with the goalkeeper Peter Fredriksson, who I do think his overall might be a bit low, but his potential range is very good. And we'll disregard the other two. So that is two players we've put in our youth academy. So let's now have a look at them in a little bit more detail. And straight away in the youth academy we can see that Nicholas Bergstrom has got an overall start rating of 64, meaning if we wanted to we could promote him to the senior team straight away and see his potential status. But sadly Peter Fredriksson, his overall is pretty low and his potential range is not high enough, so we're going to release him from the youth academy. So I'm very happy with Nicholas Bergstrom. 64 overall start rating, 17 years of age, left midfielder, and a value of 875k. So I'm happy with the one player from this first scout report. So at this point again it's very important to save your game, and it's important for two reasons. One, we're happy with one of the players in the first scout report, and secondly it saves just before the second scout report is returned. So advance a couple more days and the second scout report is due in from Mexico. And the first player, age too low, overall too low, potential too low, so we'll disregard Rodolfo Jara. Tito Miranda, age 17, overall 52 to 17 and potential 71 to 94, so we'll stick him in the youth academy and have a look at him in more detail. But the other three don't look too promising, so we'll disregard all three of those. So that is one good player from the Mexican scout report. So let's have a look at him in more detail in the youth academy. Sadly, he's a left midfielder just like Bergstrom. He's got a decent overall start rating of 59. His potential range is 71 to 94 and a value of 300k. So we'll definitely keep a close eye on him in the youth academy. But Nicholas Bergstrom, still the better of the two players. So now it's time to save your game again just before the third and final scout report is due to be returned from Croatia. And the first player, his potential is too low, his overall is too low, and his age is too low, so we'll disregard him straight away. Likewise with Draxovic. But Ballas looks very good, 16 years of age, overall might be a little bit low, but his potential range is so high, 84 to 94, indicating he should at least be an exciting prospect. So definitely add him to the youth academy. Jelavic, no good. Brakovic looks an excellent goalkeeper with a potential range of 79 to 94. Petrac, overall might be a bit low, but his potential looks pretty good, so we'll add him to the youth academy as well. And likewise with Vlahovic, who's got a potential range of 74 to 94. An overall range of 43 to 57. So let's have a look at the Croatian players in more detail in the youth academy. And straight away we can see that Mitaja Ballas, he's a striker. He's got an overall rating of 54, which usually I would disregard the player for that, but his potential range is so high at 84 to 94, meaning he should at least be an exciting prospect. That reason will keep him in the youth academy. Brakovic, the goalkeeper, has got a start rating of 64, a value of 725k, meaning we could promote him straight away if we chose to. Vlahovic, a 47 overall, meaning he's disregarded, and Petrac will keep him because his overall is 55, so we'll see how he trains to get him up to that 60 to see his potential status. So now we have 5 players in our youth academy following the first set of scout reports, 3 Croatians, a Mexican and a Swede. Now I'm sorry to sound a little bit like a broken record, but because I'm happy with the players in my youth academy at this point, I will be saving my game yet again. Now tip number 7 is to train players whilst they are still in the youth academy, mainly to get them up to that 60 overall rated needed to see their potential status when they are promoted to the senior team. So I've already set up a preset to train up 2 of the players to try and get their overalls up to 60 as soon as possible. So the 2 drills we're using for Ballas is adept attacking scenarios and race against the clock. And then for the left midfielder Petrac, we've got adept attacking scenarios, race against the clock and crossing scenarios, simulating all, and hopefully we can get that overall up to 60 to see their potential status as soon as possible. So tip number 8 is a very important one, and that is to leave your players in the youth academy as long as possible. So what you will get every month is this youth squad monthly report email. Hi boss, below is a list of the players we have further information on. As we spend more time with the lads as the weeks go by, we start to have a better idea of their strengths and weaknesses. So roughly translated, what that means is their overall will start to creep up slightly and their potential range will narrow down, meaning that you'll have a good idea of their potential status prior to promoting them to your senior squad. So at this point in this career mode, I'm in November. I've added a couple more players to the youth academy, including a 15-year-old with a very good overall star rating of 62, who I'm keeping a close eye on in the youth academy. Mitaja Ballas, his potential range is narrowed down to 86 to 94, meaning he's definitely now at least an exciting prospect. Bergstrom has grown +2 whilst in the youth academy with no training and still has a very good potential range. Darko Petrac is up to overall 61, but his potential is too low. Maximum he's going to achieve is showing great potential, so he is released. Brakovic, the goalkeeper, now got an overall of 66. We've also added a new player called Vlahovic, who's got a potential range of 81 to 94. In the very next scout report from Mexico, we unearthed this gem called Ramiro Nunez. He's 16 years of age with an overall range of 54 to 72 and a potential of 82 to 94 and a value of 450k, so he's added to the youth academy. Tip number 9 is another very important one, and that is to save your game prior to promoting any players through to your senior squad. So now most of the players in my youth academy have got an overall of 60, so now when promoted we can see their potential status. So at this point I'm going to save my game yet again. So now I'm going to go back into my youth academy. I'm going to start promoting some of the young players through to the senior squad. Because Everton have got quite a big squad anyway, I cannot promote them all at the same time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on the players who've got a 60 overall rating. So the first one is Miranda, the second one is Soraya, followed by Ramiro Nunez, Nemanja Vlahovic, John Fredrickson, and the rest of those have got 61 or above rating. So they're the first few that I've promoted through to the senior squad. Let's now go through to the squad hub and have a look at their potential status. And in the squad hub, the very easy way to get all your players at the top of the list is to scroll across the player overall, press sort, and it will sort them out in ascending order, meaning your lower rated players will be at the top of the list. So Miranda, there you can see, has showing great potential. Soraya is also showing great potential. Nunez has potential to be special, so he's one I'll definitely be keeping a closer eye on. Likewise with Vlahovic, has potential to be special, but Fredrickson only at the club since. Again, this is why it's so important to save before you promote them through to your senior squad. Now we can drop back on the save and disregard John Fredrickson, who only is at the club since, meaning his potential is lower than 80. So now it's time to reload the save from before you promoted your players through. And the first job is to disregard John Fredrickson, so we'll release him from the Youth Academy. Remembering that Vlahovic and Ramiro Nunes both had potential to be special, and Miranda and Soraya are showing great potential, but Nunes and Vlahovic definitely the pick of the two. So now it's time to start promoting the rest of the players, so that includes Ballas, Bergstrom, Brakovic, Bicanic, Stepanovic, and Alexander Henriksen. And the rest of those, he can't be promoted, and we've already seen the others' potential status. So now it's time to repeat the process and go through to the squad hub. We'll sort the players in overall ascending order. Henriksen is an exciting prospect. Ballas has potential to be special, meaning his potential will be at least 91. Bicanic at Club Sin, so he will be disregarded and released from the Youth Academy. Stepanic is showing great potential. And Brakovic, the goalkeeper, has potential to be special. And finally, Nicholas Bergstrom, who we've had some right at the beginning of this video, is an exciting prospect. So now it's time to repeat the previous process of dropping back on the save and disregarding any players who only have at Club Sins. There was only one, and that was Bicanic. So we'll scroll down and find Bicanic and disregard him and release him from the Youth Academy. But because we've loaded up a previous save, we need to remember to disregard any players that you might have already done previously. So in our case, that is John Fredrickson. So we'll release John Fredrickson from the Youth Academy, meaning every remaining player now has at least showing great potential in their status, with a couple of players even have potential to be special. So that is a very successful scouting mission that we've achieved so far in this career mode. So as your career mode progresses, you do need to remember tip number 8, which is to leave players in the Youth Academy as long as possible. So as the months go by, you will start to get some of these emails. Boss, I've received news that so-and-so is wanting to cancel their contract and thinks they're ready to be called up to the senior squad. So at this point, you need to take note of the players who want out of your club. In our case, it's Vlahovic and Brakovic. So make a mental note of their name and then go back into your Youth Academy. So now we go into the Youth Academy. I've added a few more players in there as well. We know that both Soraya and Miranda are showing great potential. Ramiro Nunes has potential to be special. We've got a new player in there, a 15-year-old Vieira, whose potential range is 85 to 94. Cifuentes probably not going to be kept. He doesn't look like he's going to be a good enough player. Kaysun's still not old enough to be promoted. Ballas' potential range now is shortened to 91 to 94. Bergstrom has grown +2 up to 67. The first player who wants out of the club is the goalkeeper Brakovic with a 67 overall, and we know he has potential to be special, so we're just going to promote him through to our senior squad rather than letting him leave. And likewise with Nemanja Vlahovic, he's 61 rated, he has potential to be special. There's no way I'm letting him walk away from this club, so we'll promote him through to the senior squad. And there you can see Vlahovic, we've edited him a little bit so he's not got the generic boots and shirt tucked in. He has potential to be special. Left midfielder, 16 years of age with 3-star skills and a 4-star weak foot, 61 overall rating, and plenty of decent attributes to work with when training. So now we look at Brakovic. He's 67 overall rated, he's 18 years of age. We know he already has potential to be special. He's got a 4-star weak foot. Goalkeepers in the Youth Academy can be massively overpowered. We only need to use 2 training drills a week, and we can easily get them to achieve an 85 rating in 1.5 seasons. And this guy's already got a £1.3 million in value. So now we're approaching the end of this experiment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to promote every player through to the senior squad who has a potential status higher than exciting prospect. So Adalberto Soraya is only showing great potential, so he will be released. Ramiro Nunes has potential to be special, so he will be promoted. Vicente Sanaya showing great potential, so he is released. Vieira is too young yet, he's still only 15 years of age. Cifuentes is only showing great potential, so he's released. Kaysun, potential range is lowered now to a maximum exciting prospect, so we'll release him. Chances are he'll only be showing great potential. Henriksen is an exciting prospect, so he's promoted. Ballas has potential to be special, so he's promoted. Bergstrom is an exciting prospect, so he's promoted. And Stepanovic he's showing great potential, so he is released. So now we move on right to the end of the season. We've added another player to the senior squad, and that is Sandro Cicrera from Portugal, a centre-back. He's an exciting prospect with a start rating of only 60, 4-star skills, a 3-star weak foot, and a value of 350k. So now we move on to the players that we've had throughout this career mode. And the first one is Ballas. He's up to 66 rated, has potential to be special, 17 years of age. Henriksen, an exciting prospect, up to 66 rated. Vlahovic is 67 rated, plus 6, has potential to be special. Numetz, likewise, up to 67. Bergstrom is 69 rated, exciting prospect. But the main one is Brakovic. He's plus 9 up to 76, has potential to be special. I did say earlier that goalkeepers in the Youth Academy are vastly overpowered. So they are my top Youth Academy tips for FIFA 19 to help you find the best youth players available. And all that remains to say is thank you so much for watching. Tune in next time. FCG out.